Have you ever resigned in a winning or drawish position? In this video, you will see a lot of examples made by top grandmasters where they misevaluated the positions and resigned instead of making a draw or even win the game. Our journey begins with famous YouTuber and streamer Levy aka GothamChess, playing as black in bullet chess against unknown grandmaster. I've tried to look for this person's name, but unfortunately the account is already closed and no personal information is written there. Anyways, even though this is a bullet chess and we shouldn't take it as a grain of salt, still Levy had 35 seconds in this current situation. White is up a piece, threatening to take the knight on e7, everything looks fine, the bishop is also hanging on e5 and so on.
Am I winning or losing? What's happening here? I think I'm losing. Oh. Okay. Cramp is gone. Double now happen. Wait, I had mate? I had queen b7? Wait, I was winning? No way. I was looking for that diagonal. I just missed it. Oh my god, what? Wow. That's crazy. Wow, I just like quit. That's crazy. I lost that game just out of pure psychology.
Levy didn't think for a long time before he clicked the resignation button, but surprisingly, black has an interesting option. Queen c6. It's not wildly difficult to understand that checkmate is coming in several moves. The only option is to go for bishop e4 because the king is cut along the g-file, and after bishop e4 queen takes, rook goes here and queen takes f3. In my opinion, the main reason why Levy didn't see this option is because he was playing against grandmaster and he sort of trusted the instincts of his opponent without double checking. It's time to move on to heavy artillery. Magnus Carlsen, arguably all-time best player as white, plays against Topalov, which had over 2800 for a long period of time. Unlike in the previous example, this is classical chess, so Topalov has more than enough time to calculate some variations. Instead of going for forced draw, he decided to resign. But before we move on, let's have a look at the threats. White wants to play queen h7, and after king f8, queen h8 check, the king will be forced to come on e7 followed by queen g7, where white wins a piece. If black plays some random looking move like a4, queen h7 is next, king f8, queen h8 check, and after that white wins a piece. Topalov couldn't find anything. It doesn't matter if you bring the queen closer because this mate is unavoidable. But the best sequence of the moves for black would have been to start with queen d5 check. After that, white responds with f3, and probably Topalov calculated queen d2 check as the only option. By the way, trying something like queen e5 wouldn't work due to queen f7, king h8 and queen f8 mate. So queen e2 looks like the only option, but it's a big blunder. As white plays king h3, black runs out of checks, and it's impossible to protect this thread, queen f7, queen f8 as well, and so on. Well, after queen d5 and f3, can you spot what's the right move? The best move is e5. Surprisingly, everything is fine. Black covers up the f7 square, so there's no queen f7 coming. And in case of queen h7, king f8 and queen h8, there is queen g8 and black saves the day. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe the channel, because whenever we reach 10,000 subscribers, there will be a free giveaway video courses from my website. Let's move on to the next example. As white plays strong French grandmaster Joel Lothier, which actually has a plus score against Garry Kasparov. If I'm not mistaken, he won 2 games, lost 1, and made 7 draws. According to Carlsen, Garry Kasparov, all-time best player, in this position completely misunderstood the evaluation and agreed on a draw offer. Garry Kasparov thought that it's equalish position, at some point white will take on c6, which will respond with bishop takes b4 and so on, but he completely missed the chance of pushing c5 right here. Attacks the pawn on b4. B takes c5 is a blunder due to rook b8, the bishop is under attack and also rook b1 is coming in the future, and if white doesn't take it, the pawn is simply hanging. In case of b5, again rook b8 will be there, followed by rook b5. It's unclear if black was able to convert it to the victory, but clearly white has to suffer and play many strong moves in order to hold this position. One of the best players in the world in women category, Cramling, as white plays against Alexandra Kostyniuk. This is not too difficult position to understand that the knight on a6 is hanging, can't move anywhere, cannot be protected by another piece. Therefore, Cramling called it a day and resigned. But it's not as simple. White actually has not only two options to justify the position. The best move would have been the move which is typically hidden and it's not so obvious, it's not on the surface, therefore I really understand why she messed it up. b4. Apparently the knight on a6 is not hanging anymore. In case of c takes b4, obviously it will lead to knight b4 and white's rescue mission of moving the knight backwards was successful. But here, if black takes on a6, guess what? There's b takes c5. And well, the bishop is pinned to the queen, therefore white reaches equality. And there is another way how white can actually try to save this position. It would still lead to slightly better position for black, but let me know in the comment section below if you can solve it. This example is truly a masterpiece. This game was played between two Spanish grandmasters as white plays Super GM Francisco Vallejo Pons against Santos Latasa Aime. I apologize if I mispronounced the names. This is a fast time control and Vallejo thought that that's over. He can just claim the victory immediately, and he's absolutely right, but with the wrong move. The winning move is king e6. Threatens mate in 1, and also at some point wants to promote the pawn to the queen. Black's best shot is to capture the bishop, king takes c5, and it's impossible to stop e8 from queening. Well, instead of that move, Vallejo decided to go for rook h8. And guess what? Black resigned.
Why?
He trusted his opponent that the game is over. So the best shot is king h8, and after king g8, he probably thought it's a discovered check, it is, and maybe he only calculated king g8, which leads to e8 checkmate. But he has rook takes c5, and obviously black wins the game. And this is really truly shocking, as white plays Rainer Ondendal, FIDE master, and as black Vyacheslav Ikonov. The latest move was queen takes g3. Obviously, black had a lot of options how they could push for win, and without a lot of hesitation, white resigned. The reason is understandable. If you move the king away, the game is over, and probably he thought that after f takes g3, there is f2 check, and for some reason, probably he only calculated king h2 option, and obviously after promotion to the queen, rook f2 also is coming, black is winning the game. But surprisingly, there is king f1. That's it. There is no bishop g2 check, nothing, the pawn is stopped, and the only option is to grab the knight. King takes c1, and there is nothing what black can do. Only one check perhaps, king comes up, maybe even another check, but the king can go on c1. And after rook takes d1, you can even take it with the king if you would like to, but queen takes d1, and white has an extra queen. Due to the psychology, white thought that queen g3 would lead to a checkmate, especially when he was playing against the grandmaster. So try to not fall on the same kind of trap. If you'd like to see more blunders from top grandmasters, even Magnus Carlsen missing checkmate in 1, you definitely need to check out this video.